is Meshage Ruddock. And believe it or not, at 30 years old, I'm a breast cancer survivor. Breast cancer can affect anyone. It's important to get to know your body. So certainly do your checks, do your annual, monthly, frequent screenings. This is how you do a self-breast exam. You place your hand of the breast you'll be examining on top of your head. Using the pads of your opposite fingers, you make circular motions around the breast. It is important to feel underneath your arm as well. You are feeling for any abnormalities, any lump, any crinkling. You also can squeeze your nipple, and if you notice any abnormal discharge, make sure to call your doctor.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Sagicor Life Series, Insurance Series, where it's all about insurance. And this one is very special because we're talking about cancer. You know, we're in that time of the year where we ensure you know as much as possible about cancer and the awareness of all the technicalities around it, the cause and all of that. So we have some great guests. As you realize, we're with the beauties. So first, we have a cancer survivor, Meshage. Say hi, Meshage.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
And we're looking forward to your story a little later. And to her immediate left, we have, yes, I'm going to say it, the Miss, the Miss World Caribbean, Dr. Sarah Lawrence. How are you, ma'am?
I am fine, very thankful and grateful to be here in the capacity of a consultant,
Yes, man.
obstetrician and
We like that.
gynecologist.
Good.
Yes, so happy to be here.
Great.
Yeah.
And we also have a superstar life insurance advisor, the lovely lady, Brittany Coelho. Welcome, Brittany.
Thank you. Hi, Otis.
Wow, it's good to see you. So definitely today, as usual, it's going to be educational and entertaining, and it's going to be emotional as well, because we're going to get some information that touches the heartstring a bit, but we need it.
Yes.
So let's jump right into it. So firstly, let me go to the experts. Not the beauty queen, this time the expert.
All right.
Yeah. What is breast cancer?
Okay, so I think it's the first time we actually mentioned today we're talking about breast cancer, because
Yeah.
October is observed as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're all here in our pretty dandan and our pinks because it is so significant in our country. So breast cancer is essentially a breast cell that's grown out of control. It invading the surrounding structures, it spread to other areas of the body, and it really causes problems. Now, what type of breast cancer depends on which cell it originates from. There are 3 types of cells in the breast.
Types of breast?
Yes, there's the lobes, the ducts, and the connective tissue. The lobes is where they make milk, ducts is that carry the milk to the nipple, connective tissue is everything around. So depending on where it starts,
Yes.
that's the type of cancer that it is. But breast cancer can wreak its havoc anywhere in the body because it can spread anywhere.
So tell me, what are some of the early signs that you look out for?
You know, the truth is, Otis, some people may not have any signs. But I think coming out of a forum like this is that everybody needs to know their own body intimately and very well, you know? And this starts at a very early age. From 20, we start to have breasts, you know what they look like. You look in the mirror, you look at yourself, look at where your nipples fall, where they're pointing, what the skin is like, what it feels like. Most people, as we say, we're just to a breast self-exam, we're looking for a lump. But there are so many other things that can lean towards breast cancer. So any abnormality, the nipple pointing a different direction, any changes to the skin, any nipple discharge, any ulcer or sore on the breast that's not healing, any single thing that is abnormal to you, you need to go and see a doctor.
I've heard so many stories of if the nipple don't sink in, you don't have cancer and them little thing that.
No, sir.
Already.
No.
That
Let
make
me
any
tell you,
sense.
there's no absolutes here. And if you're talking about inverted nipples, no, that don't mean anything.
Okay.
It just you need to know what your norm is. Anything that deviates from the norm, get it checked out.
Wow, that is a powerful one. Lastly, before I ask my lovely friend Brittany some questions, can a man get breast cancer?
Absolutely. Anybody that has breast tissue can get breast cancer. So it is just, men have breasts, we just have a little bit more than they do. And there are men that just totally don't even think about it. But truth be told, if a man gets breast cancer, they're supposed to figure it out before a woman because they have a lot less breast tissue.
Yes.
It just means having a feel. If they feel or see anything that's abnormal too, don't take it for granted that they're a man. They need to go and check it out as well.
Okay, great. I'll get right back to you because I have so many questions.
Yeah, man.
Because I need to learn. Today I need to become a professional. Brittany,
Yes.
what does Sagicor offer that could potentially help you if you should be diagnosed with breast cancer?
Well, we offer what we call critical illness plans, which is my favorite type of insurance generally. A critical illness plan essentially is different from your health card or your health plan. Your critical illness plan is a plan where you are covered for a particular set of illnesses. It's listed very explicitly, which is very important. It's not just any critical illness under the sun. You have the listed and you have the definition of each illness for, what the illness means.
Yes.
When you are covered for a particular amount, which is your coverage amount, insured amount, whatever term is used, once you are paying your premiums, and if, God forbid, you are diagnosed with any of those illnesses, you get that coverage amount paid out to yourself, cash, or bank transfer in your name to your bank account. It's not like the health card that covers just a particular percentage of a particular treatment.
All right, who needs critical illness coverage?
Everybody. To me,
Okay, but-
everybody.
If you're young and healthy, why would you need it?
That's when you need it. That's when you should get it. So it's important to take your critical illness plan out while you're young and you're healthy. The younger you are, the cheaper it is. Every 6 months you wait, insurance becomes more expensive. So you are considered your next age 6 months after your birthday, right? When you take out a plan at a particular age, you're locking into that age and that rate, right? So it's cheaper to take it the younger you are. And of course, you do it when you're healthy because that's when, you can qualify. You don't wait until something starts to change in your health to now apply for a critical illness plan, You need to do it when you're young and you're healthy.
Hold on, Mesha, did you have critical illness coverage with Sagicor Life?
Absolutely.
We're just checking, checking. There's a certain doctor on the panel. I want to throw it at her.
No, I did not say. I just did know how big my critical illness plan is. We're talking. And Brittany and I have an arrangement after this.
Moving around the room, checking.
Put you on the spot.
You can't shame me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Back to you, though, Doc. What are some of the lifestyle
things
that you might do, that might potentially cause cancer, especially breast cancer?
You could group them together as cancer because there are certain things that, that's just a no-brainer. Smoking, feed cancer. Smoking is just one of those things. I can't think of one good thing about smoking. Right? So let's put that out there. Alcohol is one of the things that we do socially, but doing things in moderation is key. Of course, eating healthy. The choices things that we eat.
I'm scared when you say healthy, because what is healthy? Healthy change every 6 months.
No, healthy is healthy. Healthy is healthy. And knowing what you eat. It's just an acute awareness. Because some people think if you go this type of diet or that type of diet, there's no real keto or this or that. None of those are healthy in isolation. It is knowing what you're eating, knowing that you're consuming things, where it's coming from, is it pumped with hormones or not, GMOs, all these little fancy things. So you need to really be aware. Some of us kind of going through life, just picking up things, this tastes nice, this is whatever. But when you turn it around, can you pronounce the things that are in it, What is it going to do to my body 10 years down the line? But those are the general lifestyle things, exercise, eating well, so forth. But there are certain things that you need to risk stratify. So if you are at increased risk of breast cancer or things like that, you should be aware of if you're taking hormone replacements, oral contraceptive pills, if you are at increased risk because...
Hold on, you can't just run past that, I've never heard that before.
When I heard that,
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
so
man,
that
definitely,
piece.
for sure. So, and it's not a broad brush blanket thing.
Yeah.
That's why everything has to be in context with your doctor. You need to have a doctor that you do an annual well-woman, well-man visits with, where I will say, okay, So me, personally, I have a strong family history of breast cancer. My maternal grandmother, many of my aunts. There are some things I can't do that I have to recommend for my patients because they're not as a high risk as I am. Right. And there are some people who get an early period and a late menopause. That means their exposure to the reproductive hormones are, increases their risk of getting breast cancer. So would I give this person oral contraceptive past 45? Probably not, because she started her period at 9. So, you have to, did she not have a child at all? Did you breastfeed or not? So I wish I could tell you this. It's not how it is.
Yeah.
I'll have to speak to each woman on an individual level. And if I certainly have a man in my family that had breast cancer, or a sister or a mother, like a first-degree family relative, or somebody that has bilateral breast cancer, this pushes me into a whole different category, because this is just a different thing now. It's not just a spurious one-off breast cancer. It may mean that I really have a high incidence of getting this thing, and I may have to be a little bit more aggressive than others.
But considering that, Brittany, a person has family history of breast cancer, does that write them off from getting a critical illness plan or a cancer plan?
Absolutely not. So each application is taken on a case-by-case basis. You know, whether you're required to do a medical or not, based on either coverage amount or history. You know, there's several different factors that can affect how the application is treated. So you're not completely written off. And furthermore, even if there is history or there is something else that you may have medically, there are non-medical plans. So a lot of people, right, so a lot of people kind of write off themselves because they just assume I have high blood pressure, I'm diabetic, I have sickle cell, any kind of autoimmune disease of any kind. You can still get insurance. You know, there are non-medical options. You know, with my clients, I try to say, let's go for the big boy plans, I call it, where you need the medicals and all of those other, you know, family history and medical history comes into play. But if for whatever reason you can't get through, there are several non-medical plans. And non-medical just means there's certain history or conditions that does not deter you from getting the plan.
Understandable. I want to jump over to Mesha for a second, because we're speaking now in regard to the money part of it.
Yep.
You have
Experiencing.
On that basis, what type of dollar figure would you advise anybody watching now? If you're taking out a critical illness plan, if you're taking out a cancer plan, this is the base. We know we're not telling anybody for us to take out, you know, billions of dollars, but baseline, where would you put that baseline figure?
Baseline, I'd recommend 5 million minimum, but certainly anywhere up from 5 million, because treatment can definitely cost you an arm and a leg.
Wow, literally. Doc, from your experience, the types of treatment that you might have out there, one, I want to have an appreciation of what the treatment process generally is, but two, again, bring me back to costs if you have an appreciation of that. If you can.
I can once again do very big picture. So what it looks like. You go, you feel a lump, or you see something, you go to the doctor. The doctor is going to definitively check that this thing is cancer. Once it's confirmed that it's cancer, based on the stage, this is where your treatment happens. If it's something that we can do surgically, cut out and move, it's surgery. Surgery is expensive. If it is chemotherapy, then surgery, chemotherapy and surgery is expensive. If we need to add on radiotherapy, hormonal therapy, which means that you're taking pills for a very long time, that's a lot of medicine, that's expensive. And if you're going to go fancy and do immunohistochemistry and do radiotherapy, it is expensive. No, that being said, there is always an option in the health system that, you know, the public system you can go through. However, cancer is a time game. And that is the truth. And unfortunately, where we are now, and I know we are all, I love my health system, I love my country, that's why I'm here and that's why I'm practicing, so I'm not going to dog it. But it is overwhelmed. And if you, even to just get back, you heard the first step, check it out, check it, 6 weeks minimum to get that back in the public system. 6 weeks, right? 6 weeks of this cancer spreading, moving, going. You would have loved to get whatever payout.
You want the freedom to do what you need to
Where
do.
I can pay to get it expedited. Oh, it's cancer, we found out next week, when I can do the surgery. Oh, I can afford to do the surgery, or is it going to be that I'm going to get now on the list of persons and know it's going to be done next year, February.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
But you're mentioning whether you need to do surgery, you need to whatever. And the two words come to me and I want you to explain. Benign versus malignant.
Okay. So benign is right? It's a mass, and I'm going to put it out there that the grand majority of the masses or irregularities or issues that happen with the breast are benign. So if you go and you feel a mass, nobody start give away things and all of them things there, because it's likely that it could be benign. The point is, you don't make that determination on your own. You go to the doctor and let that be determined.
Please and thanks.
Benign now, they take off, they go down the internet and come in with their last will and testament. No, I see people come in with the heaviness. I say, you went down the Google rabbit hole.
Yes.
And they're like, yes, doc, I'm going to die in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes.
Right?
I'm
right there. But that being said, something can only be determined as benign or malignant once it's tested tested and confirmed to be so. Benign cells is a growth. So it's abnormal, it shouldn't be there. However, it's unlikely to be invasive and it's unlikely to spread and cause problems. It's just there, you can cut it out and usually it doesn't recur. Or if it does, no biggie. If it starts to get an issue, you cut it out. Malignant now means that this one, out and bad, just doing what it wants to do, spreading everywhere, going to the liver, going to the brain, going to the belly, going everywhere. And
Going to the brain.
It can metastasize anywhere because what happens is that these cancer cells shear off and they go in the blood and the blood goes everywhere. So it goes in the lymph nodes, which is a whole different system in your body. It goes in the blood system and it just deposits as it goes through these smaller vessels. Deposit.
Scary,
and
don't it?
cause issues.
Question though, Mesha. I hear a lot in regard to your family history.
Right.
Do you have a strong family history of cancer?
No, I'm actually first generation cancer. That means I am the first person in my family lineage that has ever had or been diagnosed with cancer.
So, of course, when you would have felt that lump or whatever, what would have been your thoughts then?
I never thought that it would I never think malignancy. I thought that, it's a lump. It's benign. It's what I'm calling fibrocystic. Right, I'm gonna be fine. I never thought cancer.
Wow. I have to share a personal story. I am, high risk as well. And I never knew until I manage agents. And one day in training an agent as to how to ask questions, the agent asked me the question. And it's at that time I realized that cancer was heavy in my family because my mother wasn't diagnosed, my father wasn't diagnosed, and those are the things that normally go on the application. But the way I teach my agents to ask questions, you have to go to your grandparents, aunts, and uncle, and I say, but wait, but this sounds a little way now that may answer the question there. And just my luck, or luck would have it, about 2 years later, my mom called me. She was living in Cayman at the time. Called me and said, she feel a lump, but she not think of nothing, And some of those stories you hear, the nipple don't turn in, the nipple not having anything. So
or if it hurts,
this
or
is why I wait,
Drink the tea.
sometime further down in the
Yeah,
year,
drink the tea.
if I still feel it.
strain your muscle.
And I had to, thank God, make my course. I had to tell her, mother, more than likely you have cancer. And it's on this basis. When I assess our family history, this is scenario. So go get checked out right now. Today, don't let me speak to you tomorrow, and you don't get checked out. The next day, I get a call with the ball in. Right? She was stage 4. Now, imagine if I never, she's alive today, thanks be to God. She sent me my gift for my birthday yesterday.
Yes.
But this was 4 years ago. No, if I never...
She had no time
Insist
to wait.
on her going.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I did that because of the knowledge I
have from
the industry.
from knowing,
But what is
family history.
irrespective of that, though, I think it comes down to really knowing your body and being in tune with it. I mean, some of us walking around with this body and we're so unaware.
Yeah.
You have to get to know who you are, and you will notice a change if it comes.
And you need to demystify some things.
Yes.
People are afraid to touch the breast because they don't want to find it. Now, stop you from getting the cancer.
Feel up yourself.
You need to know. And the point of things like this, I can't leave here and not let you know that you can get diagnosed at stage 0 or 1 and live
Absolutely.
normal life. Something else take you out. Or you sit down there and you ignore it.
Yes.
And you waste away. That is it. It's in your hands.
Right.
Because right now we can't tell where you get cancer or not. If you are unfortunate enough to get cancer, you can save your life.
What is a proper screening system? A regular screening system?
Okay, so I always like to talk about doing 3 things, right? One thing is a continuous assessment. Every single month, try and just have a feel, have a look, see what's going on. Because if you're continuously assessing, it's so unlikely for you to miss something. A lot of my patients are like, Doc, I don't know what I feel for. No, I can't. Nah. And I'm like, you don't even need to. And I'm not going to tell you, feel for a hard thing, a soft thing for pain. Just do it. And the moment you say, that wasn't there. Or, me not feel good about this, go to the doctor. Next level screening is annually going to doing your well woman visits or well man visits. Go to the doctor when nothing to do. You don't wait till you're sick, right? They with their expertise and their clinical acumen will now do their test and see if they can pick it up. Finally, doing the things that you're supposed to do. After 40, doing at your mammograms. However, Mesha, because she is 28, when she was 28 when she was diagnosed, her daughter would have to start at 18. So That's not knowledge that everybody just knows.
No,
so
you just
you would
teach your own
know
something a while ago
when you
now.
go. So the reason they pick
So-
40 is because the average age is around 50. So they say, okay, if the average age is around 50, let's start 10 years before that. However, if my family members or someone in my family got it at 40, I need to start at 30. And your doctor will be the one that guide you with that. So I want to just take it off of your head. No, you know what? I don't want you thinking of all these things that you have to remember. All you have to do is do your breast exams and make sure you go to the doctor annually.
Yeah.
Measure, support, family, network. What has that been like? How has that affected them, and what has changed since?
Well, I mean, I believe in life you need a village. And I'm very, very grateful for my village, which looks like my family, my mother, my brother, my sister, my auntie. My friends also played a key role, my co-workers. It was definitely just everybody pouring in and reminding me that everything will be okay. So I didn't feel alone going through the journey. And I think that's something that's so important for anyone that's diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
You need togetherness to kind of see a way through it. So yeah, definitely the village is important.
And the
I'm
spiritual
grateful.
And so I'm
healing,
going to say
yeah.
the support is on so many levels. Financial level. And that's the
Which-
facts.
Necessary.
That's a
That is
fact.
why
Why we're here.
Right? Financially, right? Emotionally.
Yeah.
Every alley.
Spiritually.
Right.
Everything. And we're all going through it too. I'm sure her mother mash up.
Oh, listen. She never once show it to me, though. I think she'd cry on the phone with my
Right.
aunt.
Yeah.
And then she'd show
I
me the
am all-
bravest face.
Yes.
And push it through
And
for
that's
me.
hard for her too.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
So
a big part of the
everybody's
healing,
going
yeah.
through the process.
Yeah, it was
together.
tough. It was tough. It
Yeah,
was tough.
nobody can do it by themselves.
Absolutely. Together.
Brittany, I have to come back to that. I also want you to tell me, what are some of the things you've read? What are some of the things you've learned that really, bring things into perspective that would shift how you live? Like, are there lifestyle changes because of what you've learned?
Certainly. I mean, honestly, I would have admitted that I wasn't the healthiest eater. I felt like, life wouldn't catch up with me because my metabolism the girl I need for go gym. Listen, I have done a full 360. These days, I'm very conscious of what I eat and what I intake. So I would have reduced things like my alcohol intake.
Yes.
I don't smoke, so that's a non-factor. But I'm now active. I work out at least 2 to 4 times a week.
I can see that.
So it like I said, it gave me a different perspective on life.
Definitely.
100%.
Brittany, I'd love an appreciation of the types of plans Sagicor have, especially the ones that deal with cancer, and even more specific for women.
Right. So there is quite a large variety of plans. Let me start there. I think what has really been getting a lot of attention in the past couple of years has been the Total Woman Plan, which is one of our newer products. It is a plan that is designed specifically for women. It covers 15 critical illnesses, and the 15 illnesses are kind of lined up with what they see is common among women. It's also the only plan that covers early stage breast cancer. So the cancer that is localized or carcinoma in situ, it hasn't spread to other tissue. It's one of the few plans that covers that very, 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 very early stage. So that was a breakthrough in the industry.
Awesome.
So they have early stage breast cancer as one and carcinoma in situ as a separate illness. So it's 15 illnesses. You have several other plans. As you know, we could go on them, but they vary in terms of the limits that are allowed, whether they are non-medical or do require some kind of medical or underwriting process. There could be the amount of illnesses that are covered. Some cover 5, some cover 9, some cover 30 or 21 or whatever, So there
How
is
does
a
it
large...
work, though? If you have one, you have to just keep that one?
No. I have clients who have basically all of them. You can combine the plans.
Yes.
So how I usually say to clients is, you can have multiple plans, and anything that crosses over, you get the total coverage. So if you have 10 million in one plan and 5 million in another, and you are, God forbid, diagnosed with cancer, you're getting the overlap, the 15.
Fancy.
And right. And that plan is closed out, but there's another illness that is on another plan, but that plan is still in force, So there's a good way to you design in your portfolio as you go along, and you don't have to stay, I always say insurance is not stagnant. You're to increase your plan as you get older, as you earn a little more money, you add on a little more to it. You know, I have clients who take out an extra even 2 million, 3 million every year or two.
Yes.
And I know that Mesha had said 5 million, my personal minimum, when I'm talking to my clients, is I strive at minimum to get it to 10 million.
Awesome.
Just because I want that if something happens, this is not just, you know, surgery money, chemotherapy money.
You're not going to be working.
You're not going to be working.
Working,
Or
you know,
if you
like-
work for yourself, you don't have the privilege of paid time off.
Right.
Your kids still have to go to school. Critical illness insurance to me is like investment insurance. Because yes, you can, especially young people, everybody wants to invest.
Yeah.
You know, that's the in thing now. Invest, and you don't want to quote unquote waste money on insurance. But if something happens to you, what's the first thing you're going to touch? Your investments.
Investment.
So you need to protect your investments.
And then
When
your
you
family go and mortgage them out.
Exactly, and your child
then they both
education
have to
plan
go
off
sell.
for close out, and
Everything
it can
have to go
it can
mark up.
set you back. So I want that when you, if God forbid, you are diagnosed, it is the silver lining. You know, you have clients who are, and I hate to word it like this, but it's true. I have clients who are in a better financial position after the critical illness. Them
Definitely.
take the leftover money and pay it down and buy a house.
Right.
Or them renovate them house or something. You know, it's a holistic. And as you were saying, the treatment doesn't just stop at surgery and chemotherapy. There is the follow-ups with the oncologist.
Right.
That, you know, I think it's up
You
to
do.
10 years. Every couple of months you should go back. That's the first thing you do.
MRIs,
The MRIs.
PET
You may have to go to a nutritionist depending on the type of cancer.
Yes. Right.
There's suppose, you know, I know sometimes it affects the lymph nodes under the arm. You could maybe need physiotherapy. All of those things are, and as you say, you may not be working. So that's the critical illness plan is literally the silver lining. It's the saving grace to step in for those other things, not just for, you know, you can pay your light, your water, your everything, your mortgage while you are healing, you know?
I have one client who started her backyard garden, proper garden, because she said she's not buying nothing from the supermarket now, because she used some extra money from her plan.
Garden to home.
Yes,
Love
ma'am. So
that.
she grew her own thing.
Garden to kitchen.
Quick question. Ash, do you know the name of the plan that you had?
I do.
Yes, what is that?
It was a triple protector plus.
Okay, well done, well done. Most
Done.
Crack me.
most clients don't know the name of their plans.
That is
They
true.
know the name of the advisor. Some of us don't even know how much the plan is. But
I have a
we're not going there.
Many plans.
Any plan.
Many plans.
We're going to go to a quick break and then we come right back. Keep on screen. We have something to show you.
Hi, my name is Mesha Ruddock, and I live to thrive. Believe it or not, at 30 years old, I'm a breast cancer survivor. At 28, I was diagnosed with stage 1 invasive ductal carcinoma. It was an absolute shock to my friends and family. I was just going about life, enjoying myself. Certainly after being diagnosed, I wondered, how am I gonna afford this? So my Sagicor Life plan assisted me greatly with the cost for surgery. My surgery was estimating to be $4 million, but therein lied my Triple Protector Plus. Breast cancer can affect anyone. I'm extremely grateful that I had a Sagicor critical illness plan. I was able to encourage my friends and family and co-workers to go and get their own or increase their limits.
Wow. My pretty friend just nice up on TV. Mesha. I tell you, that time I watch the ad, I just have it on repeat because I know her a long time, my friend. But we have to get to those serious questions. Give me a little bit of that story from that first feel to the process of, you know, choosing your diagnosis and how has that changed you, the process?
Well, I mean, at 28, I didn't imagine that I would be diagnosed with cancer. I remember feeling the lump sometime in 2021, and I felt it to be abnormal because I would normally do my checks. And I remember telling my friends and having different people feel it, because what is this? This is suspicious. And everybody
Or you get an
encouraged me.
appreciation when you say lump, what type of size? We have
So
give that idea
so
what you're
for
thinking
me,
of.
it was like, let's say 1 centimeter, so like from about here to here.
That small.
This small.
Wow.
But it just felt like a hardening in the breast. So
Yes.
I would have found mine in the left breast. And I went to the doctor. He too was concerned. So we went through the whole process, ultrasound, biopsy. Whole 9 yards. And certainly when the diagnosis came back, I felt like the earth had opened up beneath
Right,
me.
no, that's it.
Honestly.
The light lock-
Yeah, because, that cancer feels like, me dead. Me dead now.
What they tell you, the big
Even
C,
though,
the big
even
C.
though he told me, this is stage 1, and this is the good news. It's stage 1, and stage 1 means that we can do something about it now, right? I would have been recommended to the only breast oncologist in the island, Dr. Jason Copeland, who is God sent.
Yes.
And he took his gentle time with me in explaining the processes, what the outlook could have been, what the treatment methods were looking like. I mean, there are different types, breast preservation, whether you keep them.
You know
a
what
lump-
type you had?
So everybody's cancer differs. Mine was what they call strongly estrogen or progesterone positive. So it was hormone positive. There are different types. So you have triple negative, HER2,
These are
and
different hormones.
Right.
that-
Yeah.
Otis.
But the
so
reason why, the reason why I see my face change is I am one of those people who call it just a theory. I'm constantly thinking that females with high levels of estrogen are more likely to get most cancers. I just feel so. I don't know. I never did any research on
Right.
it.
I could ask
But I
experts.
find that it's something I've seen just by observation.
I wouldn't
And
say high levels, but long periods of unopposed estrogen is
that's one technical. No,
yeah,
you have
yes.
to teach me. Teach
so
me, please,
there,
doc.
so there are many hormones. There's estrogen, and most times, even in the pills that people take for contraception or whatever gynecological reason you may take it, they mix it with progesterone. So they're antagonistic. They work against each other. If you give estrogen alone, it can cause problems, right? So estrogen can feed into some of these abnormalities that you're seeing, and I've seen where it has been postulated that estrogen can lead to the genetic change that can cause cancer.
So I'm not all wrong.
Yeah, but I mean,
Not all
somewhere in there.
yes,
Menopause,
yes.
the tablets that you take for menopause and
Right, well, you mean
know,
hormone replacement
the hormone
therapy?
replacement,
Well, that's a
right.
whole different
Which
thing, and that is not all bad, but you have to be a proper candidate for that.
Okay.
For hormone replacement therapy, because God in His wisdom made you stop making estrogen after a while. So you're going to make you feel crummy, you're going to get hot flashes, and you're going, your skin and your hair and everything changes.
Yes.
But you reduce your risk of cancer, because if you keep getting this estrogen, you have these reproductive hormones all the days of your life, then ovarian cancer is increased, breast cancer is increased. So we don't want to give you that back and cause any problem.
Definitely.
No.
So you were saying your cancer was
strongly estrogen positive, right? So that meant that for me, the
Good
outlook,
news.
yeah, it's good news. It's the best,
Okay.
the best news, even though it's bad news. The best outcome one could ask for, because usually young women are in Jamaica. I get to understand the data is that they're primarily affected by the more aggressive type, which is the triple negative and the HER2.
So let me
What
break
is
it
that?
down to say that her cancer cells have estrogen receptors on it, so we can target them and
Right.
kill them.
okay.
If you have a cancer that you cannot target and kill, you're just throwing everything at it.
Yeah.
The worst chemotherapy, the
Feel
everything.
good, the
You
bad
You know,
and the
so
ugly.
you just have to throw
Inflammatory
out something and
breast
hope
and
that
all
something
that, yeah.
catch.
Yes.
But hers, they say, okay, these cells have this, that. We know what these receptors look like. Let's find them,
find
kill
them.
them.
So
it's like
Find
a
them,
blinking
kill them.
light to say,
kind of.
I'm
over
here.
here.
Yeah.
Over here, right.
Yeah,
Right.
fix me.
Yeah.
So my outlook was one, looking at surgically removing. Initially, we were thinking about a lumpectomy. Then we were thinking about a single mastectomy. But I would have later
Hold
found
on.
out.
Some of us don't know what
Okay.
mastectomy means.
That
actually.
is
I'm just saying.
Medically, let me dumb it down.
Please, something right down to Otis. Bring it down. Otis it up.
Otis
it up.
That would look like removing the breast tissue.
Okay.
Right. So when I found a lump, I then had to do all the screenings to lead up to preparing me for surgery. And upon doing a breast MRI, I would have also identified another concern in my right breast. So not only did I have breast cancer in my left breast, I had it in my right breast as well.
Is that generally the case, though?
No.
So here I am,
That
the
is-
anomaly.
Yes, double anomaly, triple
Double.
anomaly.
Yeah,
No
no
family
gen-
history.
Yeah.
28 years old, bilateral breast cancer.
Pure anomalies is me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
First in
now,
our family.
first in my family, my doctor, I looked at him and I was like, "What do I do now, doc?" And he said, "Mesha, we're gonna have to remove both breasts."
So is that generally the case when you find what a bilateral? Is that generally the treatment option that is put out
I've
there.
always said that there's no general treatment option.
It's really up to the
it's
patient.
really up to the patient and the doctor and how aggressive it is. If it is triple negative, for sure. Truly, we find that a lot of our younger persons that have it, because it's so aberrant that they may end up getting bilateral anyway, you just take it out and put in new ones.
Yeah.
We're not so
Well,
averse
well.
to that.
Silver
But
lining.
you know when you
No,
said
no,
it,
that you think about it that way. No, that you put it that way.
But think about it. Like, I'm listening to her talk. I am an OBGYN, and as a woman, she hear we're gonna have to take off both breasts. What does that do psychological to you at 28 years old?
Exactly.
You know,
That's
that's a
true,
lot.
yeah.
That's a lot.
Let me just ensure the persons online can get a chance to come into conversation. So you can post your questions. If you're watching on YouTube, you know, just go in there, post your questions, and we will try to bring those out later. Because me have a lot of questions and I want to learn. But you might have one that I don't have, so throw it in there. Before I come back to you, Mesha, critical illness coverage, can it pay for new breasts? I don't know. And I ask the question because it's a cosmetic treatment,
is.
technically. So can your critical illness coverage pay for new breasts?
If you're critical illness, yeah, remember your critical,
Remember, critical illness is not for
anything.
any one thing.
Yeah.
The other
That's-
plans, I believe, and I'm talking out of
Right.
this, for particular pathologies. Critical illness, you got this is your money. Do with it as you wish.
If me and Sarah is best friend, or somebody, let me not say me, somebody and Sarah is best friend, and Sarah willing to treat them for free,
Yeah.
you can take that critical illness money, go buy a car, take it, go do whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
You're not, you don't have to use it. All you have to do is show that you have been
This
diagnosed with
illness,
this
right.
illness, take it
And you
and
get
do
the
whatever
payout.
you want with it.
I tell you, I have a client. Well, it was my
Hope
client.
you treat yourself with it, though. I mean, I hope you go get the medical treatment
But I'm telling you-
and not waste
I'm
it.
telling you, there was...
right?
No. Yeah,
But I'm
which is
telling you-
why when we talk about like how much you should have, to me, I work back ways. How much can you afford? Let's look
Right.
at the budget.
Right.
Yeah.
And just because somebody says, oh, my cancer cost me 4 million, that you should get 4 billion.
No.
Why would you
No,
not want
step it
10?
up, step it up.
Take the extra 6 and do whatever. You know?
But I'm telling you a real story. This lady, older lady, living in a wooden structure in the country, diagnosed with cancer. The agent got check on her about 2 months after the payout and everything. Black and steel.
Why not?
Home girl says she'll get her treatment,
Why not?
but she making sure say
Why
she
not?
living in a concrete house, and if she have to die one day, she gonna be dying in a concrete house.
Kudos to her.
So she can use the money to do whatever.
And to take it further, we talk about generational wealth.
Yes.
A lot in insurance, life insurance, everything. You know, everybody's throwing around this. Yes, I want generational wealth. To me, a critical illness plan is a part of that
generational.
plan because it can be a huge setback if you're not financially
I have seen,
prepared.
actually,
You know,
very, very wealthy people get wiped out.
mash up,
Wipe
mash
out,
right.
especially with the illness. I'm telling you, that can hurt, financially that can hurt the family. But an illness can wipe,
Wipe
out.
it totally out.
So you want to prepare for that
And sometimes the difference between life and death can be money.
Yeah.
every time.
Sometimes.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, there's so many times that.
More often than not, it is
Absolutely.
money.
Yeah.
Back to the story. So now you're at the point where you're told this is what you have to do. This is
Yeah.
surgery. This is whatever. What comes next? What happened next?
I mean, of course, the concern around financially being able to afford what the outlook was a significant concern. Lucky for me, my employer was actually a significant saving grace. They would have committed to assisting me along my journey in whatever treatment would have looked like. My surgery costs estimated at about $4 million. That's just to do the replacement of
Yeah.
both. Because what I would have done was a double nipple sparing mastectomy. Taking out both
need to
breast
Google that,
tissues,
but all right,
right?
yeah.
Taking out both breast tissues and replacing them with silicone implants,
Okay.
but still having the appearance of natural breasts, right? And I remember I would have had my work health insurance, so health
Yes.
insurance from work, but I also used my critical illness payout
Yes.
to cover the variance thereof. So I was very happy that I had that. And I was also happy with how quickly the payout was. Like, just the process, it felt mostly seamless. And I was also happy with the fact that there was no deductible, no excess, no administration costs. I was like, what is
yes,
the trick?
all the things then.
I was like, what is the trick? So I bought
Tax-free.
tax-free. I bought X and I got X.
Yes.
So big up to Sagicor.
Outside of you wishing that you did buy more insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that, you wish you knew? If you knew before the treatment, you would have done? Any changes in your life? What is there that would have stood
I
out
mean,
to you?
the truth is, now in reflecting, I perhaps would have been more cognizant of just my overall intake and, lifestyle in terms of activity and working out and being more conscious of my body and listening to my body and being mindful of self-care. The truth is, a cancer diagnosis is not just a physical and critical illness that you take on. It's a mental battle.
Yes.
I remember when I was diagnosed and I had reached out to a survivor, she said to me, Mesha, the fight is 90% mental. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I identified that I had to strengthen my mental.
There are people,
Wow.
2 people get diagnosed today, one with the mental fortitude,
Right.
10 years on the line,
And-
other with their weak. Yeah.
And
Agreed.
I am leaning to that, and I'm going to come to you, Doc, because I've seen it myself. At the same time that my mom got diagnosed, one of my closest friends ever got diagnosed. Obviously, it's different type of cancer or whatever, but that young lady was much, much younger. She was about 30?
30 little.
Yeah, about 31 or 2.
Younger than 35.
Yes, and she tried her best, but she died within 2 years. And a big part of it, I believe, was mental. My mother is a woman of faith, and she got hard with her faith, and it kept her. From your end as a doctor, what type of recommendations would you give from a psychological perspective a person should take on when it comes to having a diagnosis?
Why? So I love wellness and I love approaching medicine in a holistic way. It's very easy to cut out cancer there, cut it out.
Yeah.
But what have I left back? A cancer didn't come walking through the door. This was a young lady who had plans, who had dreams, who had aspirations, and her life just went like this.
Yes.
So each person, there are some people who are tough. They're like, listen, come cancer, wrong person today. And you and them on this battle. There are some people you can see them involute and you see that they're going to need, come now. So you say, Mesha, next time, mommy come. You have somebody, you have sister and brother, bring them come next time and see how they are doing as well. Do they need a professional to help them to journey with
Yeah,
them
that's critical.
in this?
Our
And that's
caregivers
not what
go
we
through a
talk
lot
about.
too.
You know,
Yeah.
people don't talk about that. They think like, yeah, man, I'm good. But you have to go through the grieving cycle. Why
Are
me?
you good?
Look at all your friends. Why I forget cancer? Nobody. Why me, God?
And,
you know.
and that is part of my concern, because if the persons around you don't know how to
How do you learn?
speak
You
and
can't
how to
learn
deal
that.
with it. They're just going to
It's
put you in a deeper
Everybody has to
negative
go
spot.
through
It's
it
going through
together.
it.
Yeah, and it's
You have
as
to
you said,
go
the
through it,
village,
and there's no right or wrong. And I think we have to be cautious, because even Mesha wants to be like, no, girl, you did everything right a while ago when you were talking. It's like, I should have eat better, I should have this.
Yeah.
And you didn't do
I thought the
anything.
same
You didn't do
thing,
anything.
yeah.
It was just the cards that were played for you. And maybe God needed you to have it and beat it to
Fair
come here
point. Hey.
and
Well,
talk to
Step
some
into the
people.
purpose,
You
right,
understand
girl?
that was your journey. And so I don't want you to think about what I did or didn't do. This is what you have, how we're going to tackle this, how God will use this for his glory, how we move forward with this. You understand? So I don't want you to shy away from it.
Yes.
You knew your body very well. Not many 28-year-olds would pick up on that. When I was 28, I was not feeling my breast.
I wonder if I feel mine enough.
Your own.
Yes. I've got to lean to,
No,
the
that
role that
being
the
said,
partners
that being
play.
right.
The role that the
There are
partners
many
play.
partners that
Absolutely.
come in and they are the ones that
fought
found
it.
the lump.
100%.
I'm going to say, in the last year, I've
That's
had
a real
about
thing.
3 persons, and they're like, Doc, such and such said I feel, and I'm like, yeah, girl, it's there.
So ladies, I think what we're getting here is
Don't
very
say something.
instructive.
Don't say something wild now.
Ladies, you need to ensure that your partners spend a lot of time
Lot of time.
examining your breasts.
Lord have
It's
mercy.
only right.
Ladies.
That's what I just got from you, Doc.
Ladies.
Not quite
You know,
Do your breast self-exam.
Your own exam.
Your own exam, and if your partner so happens to stumble upon a
your partners might see the difference faster.
Okay.
quite,
You know,
Possible.
this is
a
possible.
slight degree shift of the nipple, the partner is more likely to see. That's what I'm thinking.
Quite possible.
If he's focused.
You know, but I want it. We're about to getting responsible for our own health.
Our
here.
own health.
Let's not put the onus too much on the men.
right.
So if you
But it's
help
good to
us,
have help.
we can do this together.
It's good to have help.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, ladies, allow him more time. All right? So help the process. That's all I'm putting out.
All right.
All right, point taken.
Mesha, I hear you mention that you had life insurance and all of that. Who was that super agent who came to you and convinced you?
My super girl, Carla Ashley Grant.
Oh, serious?
She's a G. I love her to death. I remember, listen, I never want to buy the plan, you know.
Yeah.
I bought the plan. No, I
Most
bought.
people don't. Most people don't.
People don't.
I
Nobody
bought the
does.
plan back in 2018, and I remember how Carla convinced me. I was like, I want the cheapest one.
Yes, man. Just
The cheapest one.
yeah.
And I remember my premium was maybe $1,300 per month. I mean, negligible in a
Yeah.
sense at the time. And that's what I took. And I'm happy that I did. Because like I said, I still wouldn't have imagined being in this place.
But you know, say should I did spend a 3 or 5 grand, don't it?
In hindsight, it's
Yeah, I'm
always-
just saying, I'm just throwing it at
Hindsight
you
is
and all are
2020,
watching.
Otis. Right.
Yes,
Hindsight is
definitely.
2020. But big up Carla. Love
And
her.
the big
Good
thing is
people.
trusting, because the reason I don't know what plan I have is because I trust my agent wholeheartedly.
Oh,
So they just say, you
so
need
sweet.
this. All right.
all right, we'll sign again.
Love
Come
it.
again. Yes, how much time am I going to come with the same thing now?
we
But
need
I
to step it
trust,
up.
yes.
All right, I want to throw online a quick question. So I'm giving you a chance to prepare yourself to type, because there's one person going to win, the first one. How much was the recommended minimum?
By whom?
By, well,
That's what we
you have a point, you know.
recommend.
The 2 minimums.
Yeah. Okay. Make it
So
harder.
Brittany had 1 minimum critical illness coverage,
Mesha
and Mesha had another. So, what are the 2 minimums that were recommended? I'm giving you a chance to put that in and get a basket. I like when I'm giving away stuff, I can show the basket. So I should give you a picture of the basket so you know it's real. All right. So, coming back, Mesha, we've gone through the process of you being told what comes next.
Right.
You've done your surgery.
I have.
What has your treatment been like after the surgery?
Okay. So the outlook for me initially was the possibility of chemotherapy and also definitely doing hormone therapy because of the type of cancer I had.
Yeah.
I really didn't want to do chemo. My diagnosis was stage 1 in the left and a stage 0 in the right. So and I didn't have any positive lymph nodes, so there was no concern really of the cancer spreading, right? But I wanted to be sure, and I would have also done another test to verify whether chemo would have been positive for me. But by the way, guys, that's just $sign on $sign, because every test you do costs,
And that
right?
is at such a low stage to
Right,
relative.
right.
That's
To further
it's
along.
still expensive
Because they
regardless
go to the
of
kidney, you
state.
need
Right.
the abdomen, pelvis, LFTs, this, that,
Right.
that. Yeah.
So we did the surgery, then we confirmed that I didn't have to do chemo, thankfully. I made an informed decision not to, because it wasn't going to be 100% beneficial to me. The benefit was minimal. So I opted to stay the course with hormone therapy. So my medical oncologist, Dr. Chin, is keeping me blocked is her term, ensuring that my body isn't producing estrogen for the cancer cells to reproduce. So technically, I'm menopausal at 30, but we take it a day at a time.
It is what it is.
We take it a day at a time. I have life, so I'm grateful.
All right, I'm seeing a lot of questions coming in, but I'm going to be throwing at least 2. First, Nadine just loves you. You're a star. Joyce, Joyce is asking a question to you, and I guess to Doc as well. Is doing a mammogram always so unpleasant?
I didn't do a mammogram.
Okay.
I don't think they like to do mammograms on
If you're a certain
younger
age, yeah.
women. So I did an ultrasound.
What is a mammogram, by the way?
So mammogram is essentially an X-ray of the breast.
Okay.
What makes it uncomfortable is that if you ever do an X-ray before, you need a plate in front, a plate behind.
Yeah.
So it's a breast, plate on top, plate below. Sandwich.
Oh, so
and
you're-
if you have a particularly big breast, dense breast, to get a better image, you may need to
Squish.
Squished.
Spread,
I
spread,
hear squish.
spread the breast tissue. But there's digital mammography, there's breast MRIs, there's breast ultrasounds. There's so many things that can happen. Let me tell you this. Okay, the mammogram is uncomfortable. Cancer uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to go there. You have to go there, doc. You have to just go there. Yeah.
Cancer uncomfortable.
100%.
And
So
Otis,
take
you know,
your
with
little-
my mom, sorry to cut you, but my mom, well, as you know, my mom is a breast cancer champ as well. How she would word it is, as soon as you realize that this is uncomfortable,
done.
it's finished. Like as your brain go, it's literally over.
So you think
So
about the
it's
big
not-
picture.
yeah.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
picture. You can
Big
find out
picture.
this thing at a subclinical level. That's before I can even
Early
feel
detection.
it.
Yes.
I can find it and it's cured and that's
Yeah.
it. Or I don't do this thing because it's pressing up my breast. And then you end
Come
up
on.
with
Wow.
God forbid.
And then, of course, you know, as the age thing, for me, I do a breast ultrasound every year because of history also.
Awesome.
So
That's smart.
that that in itself, it's just a baseline to know the changes in the breast tissue
Yeah,
that
man.
I can
Yes.
identify.
Architectural changes,
You know, just
yeah,
the change, right? So it doesn't have to be the mammogram.
It doesn't have
I
to
think the mammogram is age. The
Under
standard
40.
is 40. Right?
However,
So-
if I write on the form, mother diagnosed at 40, she can start
Right.
at 30.
Right.
But you can't just walk in at 20 and say,
I want a mammogram.
But I'm trying to see it in my head. Of course, I've never done one. When a breast is small, how do you do
Yeah, so I'm going to
how that
say when
work?
you're, there are ways of doing it and angling it. It doesn't have to be this way. So the most uncomfortable mammograms, I think, would be the smaller breast or the very big breast. Somewhere in between would be a little easier.
Easier.
Yeah.
By the way, I got a question that I've been waiting for because I don't want to say it's me alone coming up with my stories. Paulette Small is asking the question, what is the truth about soy in relation to hormones and cancer?
Yes.
I have my
I want to
theory.
know.
I have my theory.
Soy.
And I tell
come
my
up with
daughters, I
soy.
have 2 daughters, I tell every female, no soy to anything. But maybe I'm just being a conspiracy theorist. So talk to
No,
me.
the
now.
thing is that so just like how your body makes estrogens and hormones, there are phytoestrogens and so it means that they're from a plant derivative. So
Yes.
you'd find that there are persons when they're going to menopause, you see them taking evening primrose, black cohosh, this, that, because now our
Okay.
bodies don't produce estrogen anymore and we start manifesting these symptoms. The
Yes.
way to take a more natural route, instead of doing hormone replacement therapy, we're going to use a phytoestrogen, which mimics the estrogen that we had and helps
Okay.
with some of the symptoms. So, to be honest, I am not that person who's going to be like you, Otis. I'm not gonna say, okay, yeah, fibroids, stop eat chicken. Cause everybody eat chicken and not everybody get fibroids. So it can't be just
True
that.
that?
And everybody who have soy not getting this and not getting that. So we don't have to be absolutist about everything. I think everything in moderation.
yeah.
And certainly if you have increased risk factors, you can earn a side of caution and stop doing some things or not. Because guess what? The sun is a carcinogen, you gotta lock them up.
Oh, wow.
Honey.
All right, why you have to just...
Right? I like that.
And, yeah,
I like
'cause
that.
You can,
These
you
facts-
can.
These are
You
facts.
zero in
And
on
it's
one
not-
These are
it's
facts.
not-
We
it's
have
not-
to go
So
in
if
the
you're going
sun.
to sit down and say this, that,
Right.
you're going to live a
I'm trying
terrible
to find
life.
a way to hide from it.
Yeah, you have to trust God.
So
Good luck.
I cut off side, but no, you have to tell me say that alone not gonna work.
No, honey. Live and bless.
I have,
Live
I have
life
some-
and
the
bless.
questions are coming in. I just want to throw another. By the way, I hear that you are Venetia's role model.
Oh, hi, mommy.
Seriously, a good mother. I have. Good. All right. We have a couple questions, but of course, time is tight. What you believe is the most difficult part of the journey to overcome? I know you mentioned the mental, but is that it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I remember the pain, boy. I remember being in a lot of pain post-op. Like, I was on codeine, I was high because the pain was immense. And I was in pain for weeks because it's just discomfort. You're sore, I can't do much in terms of moving post-operation. But
Yes.
that's physical. I can take a tablet and I'm good.
Okay.
But, for a couple hours.
Yeah.
But then, you have to strengthen the mind and remember that when I look in the mirror, yes, I no longer have these breast issues, but I'm still beautiful.
That you are. Turned right up.
It's just some simple things, reminding yourself how awesome you are, trying to show up every day as a better version of yourself. So the mental is definitely the fight, the struggle. Thankfully for me, though, I would have I would have identified that a little before my diagnosis and
Yes.
started to take my own steps in
Yes.
terms of my mental wellness. And I'm grateful that I still am
That
staying the
is-
course.
That is amazing.
Preparing for
Doc, Paulette asked a question for me, you know.
Yes.
What are some of the tests available for men? Because you can't get the mammogram.
Make your partner
know.
feel it.
Yeah.
I love that one.
She was gonna throw that back at me.
Yeah.
She was gonna throw that back at
Make
me.
her feel
But
it.
are there any?
No, I mean, breast ultrasound can be done on a man. You don't have to go and seeking and finding it too hard in a man, and that's the truth. When a man gets breast cancer, you usually feel it, and you can get the biopsy very easily. You know, it's right there.
Okay.
For us, we have to do ultrasound guided to make sure the needle is going to it and so forth. So men just really need to be aware and take a feel and those things. I want to ask you, Lassie, that digital record exam so bad.
Wait. I have another giveaway. Let me move to a giveaway before we have that
I
conversation.
realize it's uncomfortable.
Very.
You know,
Just this
sweating,
thought,
you're
Miss
sweating, AC's
wow.
on.
Wow.
Ah. Let me ask the question, please, ladies.
Sorry.
What is the name of the? Yes, I'm blushing. What is the name of the plan that offers 15 critical illnesses, especially to females?
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
We know. That's easy, guys.
Yeah.
Easy.
What's the name of that plan?
Easy cheesy.
Again, we're gonna be giving something nice to you. So I'm going there. I want to, Brittany. What has been your experience in regard to your clients? Have you seen younger persons coming in with the diagnosis, or is it generally still an old people diagnosis? What have you been seeing?
So, yes, the young people, even surprisingly to myself, in my first year in the business, my youngest client that was diagnosed with cancer, not breast cancer, but cancer, was 21. So from very early on, I realized this thing. So when people are kind of shocked in these times,
Yes.
I've kind of been, I don't know if desensitized or sensitized is the word, but and I've had clients who have had, I want to say, at least 4 of my critical illness claims have been persons between the ages of, 21 was the outlier, but under 35.
Yeah.
And it's always that shocker. It's always somebody who don't really want to take it, or you have to kind of give them that extra nudge or whatever it is,
Yes.
because they trust you while they take it. They're never really
Yeah.
taking it out because they really feel like they're going to use it. A lot of the times what I try to do to even get persons to really see the value is, remember the critical illness plans also earn a cash value.
Yes.
And there are some plans that you get back 100% of the premiums you've paid
So
at a particular age. So there's zero loss. You
Exactly.
get the millions.
It's
or
either
you
get the
back
payout or
as
you get
part.
back your money. One way or the other, you're
There's
winning.
no argument as to why the plan does not make sense. You know, which is why it's my favorite type of insurance in that way.
Well, with that said, we're just about out of time, but I'd love the last word from both of you. Lady Mesher, your advice to the watching public.
I think for me, just to advise everyone that cancer is not a death sentence. That's something I genuinely believe in. You're stronger than. You can fight it. You can beat it. You can be the warrior that is within you. I would also encourage everyone to get critical illness. Again, sometimes the difference between life and death can be
Is
money.
money.
Right? So those are my few words.
Love you for that. Doc,
My
your
final thing is that sounds like the cliche thing, but early detection saves lives. Literally. Don't think that you're exempt from anything, that you are too young, or it's not in your family, or you're a man, or your breast them small, or this or that. You are not exempt.
Right.
That's not how cancer go. So always be aware, know yourself very well.
yes.
So if you are unfortunate enough to be diagnosed with cancer, you're going to catch it early and you're going to beat it bad.
Beat it up.
Beat it bad.
Thank you so much, ladies. This has been another amazing episode. Definitely, this is one that you need to save. You need to send it to your friends, send it in your WhatsApp groups. I will time open WhatsApp group and the information they not add value. So definitely send this one in your group so that everybody you know can be better advised how to fight and beat potential cancers. Thank you very much. It was my honor to be the host, Otis Hamilton the first. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Critical illness is real. Cancer is real.
Heart attack and stroke are real.
Pregnancy complication is real.
Critical illnesses and pregnancy complications can turn a woman's life upside down.
Total Woman Insurance Plan
gives me real insurance protection
for up to 15 major critical illnesses
and pregnancy complication coverage.
Get real protection with Total Woman Insurance Plan from Sagicor Life.